very best in the world to enter the international marathon in Samuel Williamson. Also, be working with us on the race itself, one of the technical support from World Athletics.
Well, we understand Nora Williamson has experience in from the 1996 Olympic Games to the 2008 Games, Brazil, and of course the Tokyo Olympic Games. So I think this is a good partnership, giving River State Marathon, do I say, a high quality, and it's all. What is in the future for the River State International Marathon? This is the maiden edition that will be coming up. Is it geared towards sustainability, and what could be the benefit?
The Honorable Commissioner Alex yesterday, the social economic benefit to the people of Rivers is measurable. It expands the frontiers, it supports local businesses to grow. Also, it's a strong tool for positive city branding and so many other opportunities. On the long run, opens this up for foreign investment where people can come and enjoy what Rivers offer. So at the end of the day for us is to have the chance to expand the footfall of people who normally will come to the city of Port Harcourt and of course Rivers State by extension.
Okay, beyond the socio-economic benefit of this marathon for the people of River State and Nigeria, you know, by extension, this is the maiden edition. Could it be, you know, a qualifier to any of the continental and maybe international marathon event? We know of the Boston, the Tokyo, you know, World Marathon event. If you win in River State, can you maybe look forward to being a qualifier to any of these World Marathon events?
Mr. Nara Williamson did touch on this yesterday at the press conference, and one of the things he said to us is how it's important for us to take the 5 kilometers seriously, because if we're able to do, it can actually qualify our top runners who are able to do good time compete in international events. So we're just going to have the kilometers as a fun run. We won't take it serious. It might be it starts to discovering new talent in the Rivers, and then ours is to nurture and get them to the global stage.
Many thanks, project consultant to the River State maiden marathon event coming up on the 18th of May. I'd like to thank you very much. I know you're very busy, to at least give our viewers some enlightenment around this event that is coming up on the 18th.
Thank you so much for having me.
Many thanks, and of course, that's the project consultant, Peter. He's talked about a lot around this event. You were there yesterday. Maybe there's something else we don't know.
Well, the fact that, you know, in previous marathon races, it has always been the 42-kilometer or 38-kilometer race for elite athletes. There is really nothing for those who want to use it as part of a recreational activity for that weekend. Like we have already in Port Harcourt, you go out to these major streets, major roads in Port Harcourt, you see people walking in the morning on Saturday, some jogging on Saturday morning. So 5 kilometers isn't a bad idea for those that really wants to be part of the exercise. That very also enormous. And for those that will be part of the 5 kilometer race, it is not going to be a one-off thing for them. It should become, you know, a way of life for them. Once or twice, you know, in the week, you come out to walk around your vicinity to a certain distance. You jog a certain distance. You go back home and rest. And the marathon race come 18 should be a way of also encouraging Rivers athletes, you know, talents, to take to marathon races. It might not be 42 kilometers. We have 1,500 meters. We have 3,000 meters. We have 5,000 meters. We have 10,000 meters, which is 1 kilometer. Certified distances at national competitions, continental competitions, and Olympic Games. And I think the Athletic Association of Rivers State too should take this very seriously, because they don't have to wait for May 18, 2025 to roll out the drums
May 18,
again.
2024.
what I'm trying to say is
Okay,
that they don't have to
time.
wait. Yeah. So at the end of this race, they should look out for potentials. Whether or you lost, there is something in every athlete that a coach can re-engineer for that athlete that lost yesterday to become a champion tomorrow.
Maybe we can get the opinion of the Silver State on his thinking and of course thought about this Made Rivers International Marathon race coming up in the next few months.
Of the Rivers a partnership between the Rivers State government and welcome you to the inaugural press conference of the Rivers International Marathon 2024. A partnership between the Rivers State government and Limited. Of course, Raffle Limited is supporting marketing, advertising, social company, where now in the world. And they specialize more importantly on basis. And for the first time in the history of universities, from the inception of universities, we are having partnership between the River State government and Agrafo Limited. Of course, Agrafo Limited is sporting, marketing, advertising, promotion company, well renowned in the world, and they specialize, more importantly, on road races. And for the first time in the history of River State, from the inception of River State, we are having an international road race, an international marathon, to be held here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. This is the first time it will ever hold, and it is part of the program of the River State government, and so it's going to be an annual program henceforth. And so it's the vision of His Excellency, the Governor of River State. I'm a person who is in the life where
Welcome back. Of course, the sports commissioner there highlighting the fact that it's a vision of His Excellency, the Governor of River State, Sim Fubara, to ensure that River State becomes a hub for sports generally in Nigeria. We'll take a short break. When we return from the break, we'll let you know how the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire got to the final of the 2023 African Cup of Nations built for the Ouattara Stadium in Abidjan on Sunday. Quite a match, I must tell you. Super Eagles of Nigeria involved in penalties. Somebody was like, for me, a hero. We'll let you know when we come back from a break. Stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Telling him not to counterpunch. Telling him not to counterpunch. Counterpunch.
Welcome back. It's Sports Talk here on Atlantic Television Network, and of course, everywhere you go in the last 12 hours has been the encounter between Nigeria and their counterparts from South Africa. I said it yesterday that these two teams are noted for, coming together at the African Cup of Nations, especially at the semi-final stage. This is not the first time, Peter.
Yeah, it's certainly not the first time. The last time the Super Eagles of Nigeria won by 2-1, and this time around it was really cagey by all standard. And we've really shown to the South Africans that each time it matters most for the Amapiano derby, it will always go the way of Nigeria. Pedigree, Nigeria was obviously the big side, on paper, to progress to the finals of the AFCON. But yes, the Bafana wanted to prove a point, and at some point, lose it after the equalizer, and the game dragged into extra time. penalties, you know, trusting and believing that yes, what Williams did in the quarterfinals, it was going to do in the semi-finals, forgetting that we also have a goalkeeper who might not be as good as Williams in stopping 4 out of 5 penalty kicks, but we're always confident that he's going to stop one, because I've seen Stanley Nwabali at Goran FC actually saving the day for Goran FC Football Club of Omok.
Goran FC, you have worked with Goran FC,
Yes.
And you know Stanley Nwabali very well. Can you tell us a little bit about Stanley Nwabali? Because it looks like one that's come from the Blues. He wasn't part of the team, preparing for this tournament. And somehow, about a week before the team was ready, he was invited, and everybody was like, "Who is Stanley Nwabali?" Yes, for people around the River State, they know him as a Goran goalkeeper. But you have worked with him, at Goran. Tell us a little bit about it. Because last night he was the hero for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
I recall on a particular day in Omokos, at the point in time, the head coach of Goran FC, Ngozi Lichi, told the management that yes, can Peter come into the team as the statistician of the team because of my little knowledge about the round leader game. One of the training sessions we finished, and I told him, I said, if this guy keep his head down and stay focused on the game, he's going to one day become the goalkeeper of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. And I recall there was a time that Chenachiru also mentioned it. But for Stanley Nwabali, he didn't see it coming this soon that he was going to be the goalkeeper of the national team. He kept saying that his role model in the goalkeeping department in the world is Manuel Neuer, former goalkeeper of the German national team and Bayern Munich of England. If you see his build, it's just like Manuel. And he has a very fantastic footwork. And I told him this is going to be in the future. Command your position in Goran FC. Your next move from Goran FC will not be to another NNL team. It's going to be to a big team in the country. And when you get there, continue to stay calm. And the confidence that you've showed as the #1 goalkeeper for Goran FC, go elsewhere and also show it. You look at him, he's hardly under pressure. But one thing I have my fear for him, in one of the matches that we played, he got a yellow card for time wasting. And we saw...
He was smiling, yes. In spite of wasting time, he was smiling.
Yes, in Goran FC, we will say Stanley Nwabali is the replica of Sunday Rotimi, goalkeeper of Dolphins back in the day. Yes, Dolphins. And when Dolphins is like 1 goal up, 2 goals up, and you have like 10 minutes to the end of the game, he brings that delayed tactics, to the table. And for Nwabali, one of the games I was like saying, this guy should know that this is Nations Cup finals. The referees don't tolerate a time wasting from goalkeepers. But for me, he has really shown that you stay calm, you stay focused, to your trade. In the fullness of time, you have the opportunity to prove your mettle. And when the opportunity comes, grab it like it is the only opportunity that you have on planet Earth to prove that I am also good at this thing. It is pretty easy to change goalkeepers at the club level when you start misbehaving, but in the national team, once the coach, sticks with you, no matter what happens, he remains with you. If you look at Uzor today, Uzor kept making mistakes. The goalkeeper, the coach keeps telling us, Uzor
is his #1.
Is his #1.
But Nigerians didn't like that at all.
Yeah, Nigerians didn't like that. So I want to believe it was searching around for a goalkeeper that would take the place of Francis Uzor. He looked the way of Victor Sochima of Rivers United. But Sochima wasn't playing. If Sochima were to be playing for Rivers United, maybe he would have been the goalkeeper from the local league.
Let's maybe stay away from that. Let's look at the contribution of the video assistant referee in this fixture. The first goal, of course, the only goal scored in the course of the game by Super Eagles was a penalty goal, and it was a video assistant referee that called for, called the attention of the central referee to award that penalty. And the same thing happened on the other end, where the video assistant referee as well intervened and ensured that the Egyptian referee awarded a penalty that cancelled Victor Osimhen's goal and ensured that South Africa scored their own equalizing goal. I've watched football for many decades now. I haven't seen I can't remember seeing one where an event cancelled a goal and ensured that on the other side, they conceded a goal. Video assistant referee at the 2023 African Cup of Nations has been rated as many percentage higher than what we've seen of it in Europe, where it first started? How come it is making excellent waves around Africa?
I think for the match officials, the VAR, they really want to prove a point that we are better than these guys in Europe, better than these guys in Asia, better than these guys in America. And yes, I saw that incident because I was with a sister radio station yesterday, and I said, the video arrow will record that incident, and I think it's likely going to be a penalty.
I thought it was just an infringement that it could be a free kick, but I didn't know that it was actually inside of the box.
Yeah, and so when the video VAR, looked at it and drew the attention of the referee, this is a penalty. Victor Osimhen's goal, has to be cancelled, because for the VAR, you play back to what happened
before leading to the event.
So that was just it.
Okay, let's look at one major incident for me that turned the game around in favor of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. We saw Coach Pesero make multiple changes, and all the changes were spot on, because they were players who contributed into the victory at the end of the day. Kelechi Iheanacho did, of course, senior man of Nigeria, but he scored that penalty that made it ineffective for the South African squad to lead their kick. But we saw Terry Murphy as well, come in and, of course, did deliver on the bench. And Kenneth Romero as well coming in and deliver as well. A lot of people didn't believe in Coach Pesero before this tournament, but it looks like the man has ticked all the right boxes leading up to the final.
I said somewhere that what Pesero has achieved with the Super Eagles, it's similar to what Clemens Wextall, achieved when he was coach of the Super Eagles. The difference between both, Wextall was coach when we had the military government, and he gave his employers a timeline. This is the window of opportunity that I need to break even with the national team. You'll recall that when Wextall came, Nigeria was familiar with the 4-2-4 formation of play. You have two midfielders and two wingers, and two attackers. He came and he rejigged the attacking options in the team, the playing pattern in the team, from 4-2-4 to 4-3-3. It took time for Nigerians to adapt to that new style of play. And the moment we adapted to it, the Super Eagles became the second best entertaining team behind Brazil at the World Cup finals, became champions in 1994 on the continent of Africa. So for Pesero, he has tried several options and they never worked. Fortunately for him, the 3-4-3 that he now opted for worked for him in the tournament proper. If the Super Eagles had lost against Equatorial Guinea with the 3-4-3 and also lost against Cote d'Ivoire in the second match, I bet to me,
nobody will be talking about him by now.
That would have ended Pesero's career as a coach. But today is like the jewel in the tournament. And like you said, the substitutions were all spot on.
Spot on substitutions coming from the coach of Nigeria against their counterparts from South Africa. And South Africa now will have to play the third place match between themselves and what is his name now? The Congo Democratic Republic, because they were beaten by Cote d'Ivoire in the other fixture. But still looking at the match between Nigeria and South Africa. This is a block. Well, that's what he calls it. The coach calls it the block defense. The Super Eagles defense is looking like the defense of the tournament. You can hardly breach it. They've not considered. This is the second goal they considered, in the course of the game. In 6 games or 7 games now, they've considered just about 2 goals. What do you make of the Super Eagles defense line?
Our defense line are pretty formidable. How he has been able to marshal the 3-4-3 with the captain, William Truss Ekong, Ola Aino, and Ajayi.
Saidu as well.
Yes, and
yesterday
Saidu.
we saw Saidu.
No, Saidu didn't play yesterday.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He didn't play yesterday. They brought in what is his name now? Bright
Osai.
And there's a way the coach did, and that was really for me novel. He had to move Aino now to the other side, to the
left wing back. Yes.
Left wing back, and brought Bright to the right. Ordinary, that left wing back was being played, could have been played as well by Zaidu.
The biggest plus in the Super Eagles setup in the back line for me has been Ola Aino, because of his ability to play from both sides.
Left and right.
Yes, and how he joins the attack you know.
And I'm sure Nigerians will forgive you for that penalty miss in the shootout.
Yes, we have forgiven him already.
Nigerians have forgiven Ola because of his way he has played so far to this tournament, both on the left and on the right side of the defense line, that he missed that penalty. I think he has been forgiven, but that was not Nigerian to kick way over the bar. And talking about the penalties last night, senior man of Nigerian football, Kelechi Iheanacho, this was the first time he came onto the pitch, and he did so well. And for Terry Murphy, he had not contributed at all before the penalty kick, and he put his his shot into the net as well.
Yeah, he was close to scoring for the Super Eagles. You know, his first touch or second touch. You know, when he came in, that counter attack move. But again, a moment of indecision. You know, caused what happened. Instead of chipping the ball over the goalkeeper, I wanted to dribble around the goalkeeper before it was intercepted, and he got to the penalty decision. Too well. Every goalkeeper will certainly take a dive, either to the right or to the left. And if you must play the ball, just play to the middle,
where the goalkeeper is leaving,
where the goalkeeper is limping from. You know, he did it. It worked. And for the second spot kick that Kenneth Omero came to take for the Super Eagles, the goalkeeper decided not to move. Not knowing that Kenneth Omero, who is also a senior man in the team, he was brought on just for penalty kick.
That's what I said. His substitutions were spot on.
Yeah, so the South Africans should be disappointed in their goalkeeper, because he stopped 4 in the quarter-final match, and they thought like, yes, it is going to repeat itself in the semi-final match against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. For the Cape Verdeans, perhaps they did not train for penalty shootout because they thought they will run over the South Africans inside 90 minutes. But the Super Eagles, if we don't win inside 90 minutes, inside 120 minutes, let's look for South Africa goalkeeper take their spot kick and put it behind him. And that was what happened yesterday.
Kelechi Iheanacho, the man on your screen, the senior man of Nigerian football, coming in for penalty kicks, and he did deliver, taking Nigeria to the final of the African Cup of Nations. Nigeria is in the final, but let's look at their opponents in the final. Cote d'Ivoire, we saw Sebastien Haller score that goal. Was it a freak goal for Cote d'Ivoire? Whether it was freak or not, they are in the final.
The Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire are the surprise team of the tournament, even though they are host. They have won the tournament twice, in 1992 and 2015.
Yes.
Yeah, 1992 and 2015. And as host, they were also amongst the favorites to win the tournament. But after their dismal performance in the second game and third game in the group stage, they were written off. You know, they qualified for the knockouts through the back door. And look at the countries that they came up against, defeated the defending champions, the Teranga Lions of Senegal, who were rated as potential champions because of how they started in the group stage, most especially their opening 2 games. With each game, the confidence in the Ivorian team, you know, kept increasing. Their quarter-final match, they had to prosecute that game with 1 man less, and they came from 1 goal down to win by 2 goals to 1. And look at how they have played. They have the entire population in the country behind them, and you can imagine what will happen in the finals on Sunday. You know, they want to replay. You know, history wants to replay itself again. The last time Nigeria played against them, right before their own fans, they lost to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You cannot afford to lose to the Super Eagles 2 times inside 3 weeks. Something has to be done urgently before the game on Sunday. So for me, the Elephant of Cote d'Ivoire, they have surpassed all expectations after their dismal performance in the group stage. So what they have gotten right now is only but a bonus, you know, for them. For the Super Eagles of Nigeria, it has not been a bonus because the coach of the side, Pissarro, has always said, I am in Cote d'Ivoire to win the AFCON title.
Nigerians are in Cote d'Ivoire to win the AFCON title for a record 4th time. They've won it 3 times before. They want to do it a 4th time, and this time it will be, you know, in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire on Sunday. That's when this encounter will take place. Nigeria do not have a very good memory of Abidjan when it comes to the final game? Remember the match against Nigeria and Cameroon?
1984. I was still a young lad in Benin City then. Nigeria scored first. Then they were known as Green Eagles. They weren't super then. Nigeria scored first, and we're all, jubilating that Nigeria was going to win this one before the Cameroonians, overran the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Fortunately, it is not Cameroon that we are playing in the finals, because we've lost more times in the finals to the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. The Elephants of Cote d'Ivoire, the confidence is there. We've done it before, a few weeks ago in each tournament. We can do it again to really prove that, yes, Nigeria is just truly the #1 football nation on the continent of Africa.
Okay, we just have to wrap up the show now, but Peter, $7 million is at stake on Sunday between Nigeria and host nation Cote d'Ivoire. Who wants it more?
I think the Super Eagles of Nigeria should want it more, but for the Ivorians, so much has been invested into
$1.5 billion US.
Yeah, so much has been invested in organizing the Nations Cup finals. As the tournament be top notch, yes, I want to say because of the facilities that they offered, that they brought to the table. In terms of spectatorship, they've been top notch. I would say no, because most of the venues we saw empty stands, in the stadium. As host, because of how they qualified for the knockout phase, they want to win this run. They also want to crest their name, on the continent of Africa as one of those nations to have won the Nations Cup finals 3 times. But the slogan for the Super Eagles before now has been, let's do it
again.
We did it in 2013. Let's do it again in 2024. So that shows the country that wants it, most. And the country that wants it the more between these two sides is obviously Nigeria. So we should win on Sunday.
Nigeria should win on Sunday. But meanwhile, we say congratulations to the Super Eagles for coming to the final of the 2023 African Cup of Nations. And of course, I look forward to Sunday. Not just the Super Eagles, congratulations to all Nigerians. I'm hoping that we've not had any incident of destruction of activities of Nigerians based in South Africa. But now it has to be the host nation, Cote d'Ivoire, on Sunday. And we look forward to having the Super Eagles return back to Nigeria with the trophy. And of course, that $7 million US. That will be it for this edition of Sports Talk. Definitely we'll be back at 6 p.m. Nigerian time for Sports Extraordinary, where we'll continue to look at what has happened in Abidjan and what could happen next in the 3rd place match and the final coming up on Sunday. Until then, remember that peace and unity are clearly pathways to progress. Always enjoy here on Atlantic Television Network.